So what's so magical about Così Fan Tutte is that it's Mozart's most adventuresome opera in terms of the kinds of ensembles and kinds of numbers that he writes. So if you contrast this with Figaro that came before it, it really takes the idea of singing together to a new level. So we see, instead of arias for character exposition at the very beginning of the opera, we start with three trios when the three men, Don Alfonso, Ferrando, and Guglielmo, all sing together in three very different ways, showing a very quick development and change in their character, even in the first three numbers of the opera. And then that continues with a quintet that's recitative, something like that is new and different from Mozart. And then we have a sextet. He's very fond of the form of sextets, which is another thing that we see in the earlier opera Figaro.
Ferrando, I think out of the two guys, he's out of Ferrando and Guglielmo, he's the most sort of idealistic, romantic poet out of the two. And that's reflected in, I guess, tenors, because tenors usually sing the love interest and they sing the lovers and the poets. So just consigning to the role of the tenor, really.
Guglielmo, he's a bit of a, in today's term, I'd say he's kind of like a rugby lad. Kind of just thinks black and white, things wrong, all right. You're either in love or you're not. You love me or you don't. I think he doesn't have that much room for interpretation or suggestion from anyone else. Doing Guglielmo again means that I get to reinvent this character with the skeleton that is given by Da Ponte and Mozart.
Don Alfonso, it's a very complex character. I must say I did the role in the past, but every time I go back into the score and I analyze the text and the music, I feel like there is so much that you have to discover about Don Alfonso. He's a definitely older guy than the rest of the cast. Probably older than Despina, although it's not specified in the score. I'm pretty sure that he's involved in some philosophy, which I think he tried to install into two younger guys. A bit of a stoic approach to life, which I think we all should adapt at some point.
Working with Barbara, I'm totally spoiled. I think that she's super sensitive to what's going on. She brings sort of a naturalist, but also realist perspective to the text. She has a deep understanding of psychology. And we get on great doing it together. I mean, of course, she's my wife, so that's lucky.
Like kind of, in the mud, like you are just walking. So think about like you're suffering, so you will never like walk like, oh, okay, I will go to the square. It's like I'm really suffering, and I don't really know what to do. I will be on my own, and now they are here. I was studying Mozart for 4 years, really, and my master's dissertation was about Mozart. And last year we did Marriage of Figaro. And this year we decided Così because it's about love, and we kind of want to invite young people, especially from the college, and make them interested in the opera. And we thought that topic like love and also Così as a title, which is kind of popular and famous, will be easy to, and also like more interesting for people who are coming to see the opera for the first time.
There is a relevance and a relatability to this opera in terms of the confusions and the uncertainties that young people go through in their everyday lives, when their personalities and their personas are still in a formative stage, they don't quite know who they are yet in this opera, and or as the young people, and they're trying to figure out through the opera who they are, how they relate to other people, and who they're meant to be with. And I think all of the sort of themes of and uncertainties of young love is something that is explored through this opera that's unique, I think, in sort of the whole opera canon.
Dorabella is a teenager who loves everything. She loves cooking and food, and she loves being the head of the house, even though she's got an older sister, Fiordiligi. And she is not 100% emotionally mature. She gets in a strop when she's on her own way. She very much looks up to her big sister, is very aware of what she does to influence herself. Despina, their maid, she also looks up to her, but in a different kind of way, that Despina has had much more experience with boys and such like. It's really nice doing a brand new role for me and others maybe who have done it before and having their input. And is just really nice to be back with the team. Yeah.
We chose a kitchen for the main set, mainly because food goes very well with love, and also it's a school, like a cooking school. So through cooking, they're learning about life.
I think opera is an art form that merges many art forms together. There's music, there's design, there's dance, there's acting, and I think this is a great opportunity for several disciplines to come together. I think first it's the interpretation of Così Fan Tutte itself, but it's also working very closely together with Barbara Paul's interpretation of it, which is setting Così in a culinary environment, and therefore the initial idea is to create a plate as a symbol for the stage, and then erect the dish onto it with all the spices and ingredients that come with it and make the plot and the story.
We're trying to reinvent what the kitchen is and give it like a futuristic feel, an element of transparency, something that can be used as a projection surface, but also as a workspace, and kind of seeing how we can kind of push the limits of what is physical on the stage and then kind of what is digital. So there's nothing solid or a monolith, but it adds lightness. And putting it in the great hall of Goodenough College, it's a juxtaposition, extreme juxtaposition to the kind of ornamentation that's already there and the rich history.
We have an outstanding cast of really experienced young singers who bring incredible interpretive decisions to their singing and to the roles. We offer in Bloomsbury Opera a kind of experience that big houses just can't offer by virtue of the size of the building and the distance between the orchestra and the singers and these sorts of things. We really offer someone the chance to experience opera right up close. And I think that visceral kind of experience is what we're most after and we're most trying to give people.